Hey, what's up? Today we are making French bread. Think of it as the American cousin to the baguette. It's softer, wider, shorter, and honestly, way more versatile. It's an everyday bread perfect to make subsandwiches or garlic bread. Just don't tell my French friends we are doing this. Let's get into it, shall we? As today we are making the sourdough version, I fed my starter 5 hours ago and boom, after 5 hours in summertime, the starter is active and ready to go. In a medium-sized bowl, add 8 grams salt, 15 grams honey. If you don't have pure honey, you can just use sugar. Next thing, olive oil. Salute. Don't look at me like that, it's for health benefit. 15 grams olive oil followed by 290 gram water. Bring your scale and measure up 90 grams starter. Also, if you want to make it with yeast instead of sourdough, I recommend you to make a simple polish. For this recipe, 45 gram flour, 45 gram water, and a pinch of yeast the night before, and the next day you are ready to make your dough. Before you make the dough, always make sure to check the description. Lastly, we have 450 gram bread flour, something with a very high protein content. Then use your best tools, your hands, to bring everything together and mix everything until there is no more dry spot and you have a shaggy dough like this. Then clean up everything with the help of a scraper. Cover it up and let it rest for 30 minutes. You can also make this recipe with a stand mixer. Dump all the ingredient into the mixer, mix it for 8 to 10 minutes, check the window pane test, and you are good to go. But this method is more fun, I guess, right? Alright, now if you listen carefully, the dough tells you what he wants. Let me show you. Alright, listen and watch carefully because this step is very important. With your hands, grab one side of the dough, stretch it up, fold it on itself, and do the same to the other parts. If your dough feels manageable, not very sticky, after finish folding all the sides to the center, grab the dough, lift it up, then bring the dough on the counter, but make sure to slightly wet the surface. Go ahead, grab the dough and do some slap and folding. In this stage, if your dough is stickier than mine, you can skip this step, just put it back into the bowl and let it rest for another 30 minutes. But if it's still holding its shape as mine do, you can even knead it and round it up with the help of the surface to create little more tension. Beautiful. If you are using a high protein bread flour, your dough should look like this. It's just 65% hydration. You can even knead it if you want. Into the bowl, cover it up and let it rest for another 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, same thing gonna happen. Again, your dough tells you what he wants. By now, you should see some beautiful gluten development and you might have something like this, a beautiful smooth and elastic dough. Even if I knead this dough, it's not gonna be buttering. But if it's slightly stickier than this, don't panic. Stick to the folds. Anything suits you. Slap and fold, stretch and fold. You can even knead it for a couple of minutes if it's a stiff dough like this one here. I'm gonna get fancy, let it rest for another 30 minutes, then round it up one more time. Make sure to give it a kiss to show appreciation. Into the bowl, let it finish its bowl fermentation and make sure to check the description so you don't get confused. This is my room temperature. Let's back to the dough. Alright, the developing process takes 1.5 an hour. Then I let the dough finish its ball fermentation for 2 hours and 50 minutes to be exact. My room temperature is around 28 degrees Celsius. Here you can see the visual indicators of a well-fermented dough. We have this dome-shaped top. The dough pulls away from the side of the bowl. If you press the dough, if you poke the dough, it's going to bounce back slowly. It's airy, a bit bubbly. In this hot climate, we are aiming for 30 to 40% rise at the best. I mean, look at this though. It's gorgeous. On the counter, I'm going to separate it into two beautiful pieces. You can eyeball this like I do, or use the scale if you want to get fancy. Then fold the dough a couple of times, create little tension, and that was all about pre-shaping. We need something like this. Then cover them up carefully because we don't want them to dry up. It's not a rustic baguette. 20 minutes later, if you have one of these couches to let them proof, you are good to go. If you don't have it, just normal kitchen towel would be fine. But make sure to flour it generously. We don't want anything to stick anywhere. Remove the wrap and shaping time. Dust up little rice flour on the dough or any flour you have. Release some of those gas, make a rectangle shape, and then let me show you a simple shaping method. Grab one side, roll it toward yourself, and then tuck it in. Roll it and tuck it. It's kinda similar to shaping baguette. Don't push it too hard, just tuck it in and try to seal the edges. Then wrap it up and push the dough underneath. Once you have something like this, with a very gentle press, roll it out to make it a bit longer. That's what I'm talking about. Looks perfect. Set them on a couche or a floured kitchen towel. Use an extra wrap to make sure they don't dry up. And let them proof. Again, today my kitchen temperature is so high, so it's not going to take more than 1 hour. And let me show you my oven adjustment. I have one tray on the bottom to pour boiling water later and create steam. I'm using baking steel. You can even use an upside down tray, something like this. But make sure to preheat everything for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Since my room temperature is so high, after just 45 minutes, I think I nailed the proofing. It has to be airy and puffy, and when you poke it, it's gonna bounce back slowly. These bad boys are well proofed. Transfer them gently on a baking mat or baking paper, whatever you have. If you don't have razor, you can use bread knife to score them. It's gonna be the same. Hold the blade as close as possible. I'm making quick, shallow, overlapping slashes along the center length of the dough. This takes little practice. Then spray little water, get that beautiful light, crispy crust. Into the oven, we need something less than a cup of boiling water to create lots of steam. I'm gonna bake them at 230 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Look at them. Remove the remaining steam if there is any. As we don't want a rustic bread and too much color, bake for another 15 minutes, this time at 210 degrees Celsius. If this not stop you buying store-bought sandwiches, I think we are not in the same path. Of course, if you want more color on the crust, you can bake them for longer time. Personally speaking, I want my sub sandwiches to be exactly look like this. Sounds right to me. With just a little bit of olive oil and honey, we made a beautiful, soft and crispy soft sandwich bread, which is million times healthier than a store-bought version, right? So what are you waiting for? And now, favorite part of my job, taste test. I don't say anything. Go and make it. Now that was perfect, but let me show you how to make a beautiful garlic bread. I found a little bit of coriander in my fridge. You can use parsley if you want. roughly chopped, something like this. Then we have roasted garlic for maximum flavor. Cook on a stove or inside the oven until you have something like this, melted in my hand. Then smash it up with room temperature butter. Lastly, add your favorite cheese and parsley. Unbeatable. Cut the bread in half. Let's check the crumb one more time. I don't say anything. You tell me. We have the bread, we have the spread. Time to assemble. Be generous with the magical mixture and spread it all over them. Now, a little bit of Parmigiano, season it with salt and pepper. And honestly, if you like cheese on your garlic bread, we can be good friends. Into the oven, bake with broiler, of course, until the cheese melts. Meanwhile, I'm going to dip little piece into the extra virgin olive oil to show some respect to my beautiful Italian friends. That really hits the spot. Now, garlic bread's out of the oven. I'm so excited. A little green for the garnish. And the moment of silence and joy for the love of food, my friends. The moment of truth. God knows I'm happy I'm a baker. I mean, look at it. With due all respect, if you're not convinced to make this recipe yet, you are in the wrong channel, my friend. Oh my God. The food symphony plays in my ears. You are very welcome, my friends. Forget about diet today. Go and make this recipe. Let me know how it turns. Like always, keep baking and take a good care of yourself.